And we're back. We're back. We're back to the show. So,
How's it going?
well, I'm gonna be honest. It's going pretty good. Pretty well.
Dude, I like hearing that.
Yeah. Going well for you,
So,
or?
it's going great now.
Yeah.
About to talk some Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you heard this, but there's been a little bit of Pokemon news, and we even had a Pokemon Presents. So we've got some stuff to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. I concur. Well,
And I'd say, Chief, what would you say the biggest news from
biggest
Pokemon
news.
Presents was?
I'd say probably biggest news. Pokemon Unite. They got new Fortnite skins or something. Got some new trading card game. Yeah, I don't know. I skipped most of the middle part of the direct. There was not a lot there for me until the surprise ending video.
Yeah, big teaser with
Yeah,
the drop for Gen 10.
Gen 10, Alien
Yeah,
Force.
I felt really weird when I said that. But yeah, Pokemon Wind and Waves.
Yeah,
I thought it looked pretty great. What did you think?
yeah, I like the tone. Kind of having the safari jungle sort of thing. Kind of brings me back to like N64, like Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
Was
that's
it
what I was
Dino
thinking.
Crisis kind of thing? A lot of tropical games came out of the N64 GameCube era, so that's kind of the vibe I was getting.
Kind of looks like there might be a exploration safari type aspect of this game.
Yeah, yeah, I saw there's Pokemon in this one.
Yeah. And I thought this is going to be a Switch 2 only game.
Yes, so now it
And
doesn't have to look like garbage on behalf of the Switch one.
the graphics definitely look a lot better just
Yeah,
from what we're being shown so far. I really like the way the water looks, the color, the dimension to it. It actually looks like real waves and not just blue color.
right, right,
So,
with ripples in it occasionally.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it looked
So,
really good as well. The colors pop a lot in the trailer that we saw. A lot of bright greens and blues, a lot of winds and waves.
yeah,
Um,
you're getting like different shades of
yeah,
colors, not
it's
just
not
like,
saturated like Gen 6 through 7 were, but it's not like or trying to be hyper realistic like none of them were. I don't know what I was trying to go for there. But
a
the
totally different
yeah,
franchise.
the past yeah, I wasn't thinking about this. I was thinking of Crisis, 1 through 3. Yeah, but the last few Pokemon games have just looked very drab in comparison to this. So, except for Legend ZA, I think Legend ZA had a lot of good colors. This
Yeah.
one is definitely above and beyond. This is like kind of Scarlet Violet levels of terrain with more going on.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. I appreciate that the old catch mechanics back from Sword Shield and before. Um I don't know. I do like the new stuff, but I do think that it has its place in these spin-off titles or maybe every other one. That way there's I don't know, an equal amount of um
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the
that type of
same
catch feature
thing
to old.
every Pokemon game or
Yeah.
like totally doing away with features or whatever.
Right. Because
So,
I feel like you risk alienating old players when you do that.
I mean, there are definitely some times where, you know, it would almost feel better to just catch them the old way. But
Yeah.
so, I mean, it looks pretty good. And obviously, some of the big talk about this is we got a reveal of what the three starter Pokemon are. Now, we don't have any idea what their evolutions are
No.
going to look like, but we saw the three starters and
Yep. We got the little bird, we got the little Pomeranian, and we got the little blob
Gecko.
gecko. Looks like a
And it seems like the general consensus online and our consensus is Pombon, the Pomeranian,
mhm.
is
Oh,
definitely the fan favorite right now.
yes. Until he gets up on
I
2 legs and
yeah,
starts walking.
till he goes anthropomorphic, and then we're all gonna be mad. But, if they depending on what the later evolutions look like, I'm definitely picking Pombon, but
Yeah, I'm with you there. I feel like, what's the grass one again?
Route.
Yeah, I feel like grout has some good potential too.
I could see the gecko one, I don't really even know how to pronounce this, evolution line could be cool, but I don't really like it
It's
how
a
it
little
is.
too similar to Sobble in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we did just do a water lizard in
Yeah.
Gen 8, and
Well,
now
there
we're
aren't
doing
any
it
other
again.
water Pokemon, so I'm sorry, there's no
Yeah.
other water animals. We only have geckos and, um, seals and penguins, turtles.
And I felt like the design on some of these is a little simplistic, a little blobby,
Mhm.
not as much detailed lines and things that I typically like better in the Pokemon design. So I like the cuteness of Pombon, but I would have liked to seen a little more detail on these
That's
than
fair. I thought that as well until I saw the 2D art. Have you seen the, key art of them?
no.
They look a little bit better in the key art, I gotta say. We'll look at that a little later.
Well, and that's not final footage in the
Right,
trailer,
right.
so they might.
The key art is more of the hand drawing kind of stuff with them. So, they kind of have the same sort of, detail level as the, I guess Gen 8? Is that Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen 8 Pokemon. Kind of in the same boat as them, maybe Sun and Moon level. So,
So we'll see what they end up
yeah,
looking like and what the final evolution lines look like. Because that's a lot of times you like the first stage and then it can go
it
south
goes
from there
downhill,
pretty quick.
yeah.
There's a lot of those that we liked the first stage and then don't like the rest of it.
Yep, that is true. Well, and also, actually, before we get any further into this is episode 4 of the Culture Cretins
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
Kind of forgot to
Just
say
dropping
that,
you in
yeah.
there.
I'm Will, this is Nathan, and today we're going to talk about, you guessed it, Pokemon. I don't have a clapping button. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Actually, I might have a clapping button. Let's try this. There we go.
Yeah. Probably the
Awesome.
only applause we're going to get
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
true.
So, do you want to keep talking Pokemon Presents or do you want to get into ranking our tier lists of
Yeah,
starter Pokemon?
I have a few more things to discuss about the Pokemon Presents. There was, a jukebox at the very beginning to celebrate the anniversary, um, where you put miniature cartridges that look like Pokemon Red and Blue into a Game Boy, jukebox player. Um, I think they were selling it for like $70. I saw it the morning it released, or I guess it was around noon it released the other day, and it was $70, and I was not about to spend that much on some chiptune music. I don't know how you feel about it, but I kinda it's cool, it's a neat gimmick, but I kinda feel like the music from Gen 1 unprocessed is very harsh on the ears and not something I'd really wanna listen to casually.
So, my thought on the whole thing is kind of like what you said. It's a gimmick. I appreciate the idea. I think it's neat, but I'm not gonna buy it, especially as little stuff is what's going to be on there.
Yep.
As far as the music goes, Gen 1 and Gen 2 are my favorite music. I once you go to the Game Boy Advance, the
Dude,
music
I
sounds
love the
different.
trumpet.
and I prefer the chip tune, which is probably just because that's what I grew up with, but I like the Gen 1, Gen 2 music the best. However, I do agree with you. There are certain sound effects, certain things that if you're just blaring that in your eardrums
Yeah, I
in
would rather
Gen
die.
1, it's pretty painful. Now, that's not talking about, like, the towns, like, when you
No, no,
walk
no,
into
they're
town.
also
I
abysmal. No, I'm just kidding.
I love that, but yeah, some of the, like, battle music and stuff, like, I do not wanna just listen to that on repeat in earbuds or something, but
Yeah.
I definitely miss the Gen 1, Gen 2 chiptune music, but,
Yeah,
to
it's
each his own.
good in the game for me, but, like, I just can't and unless it's a
Just
s very
just
specific thing.
unfiltered,
Yeah,
just
there's just
listening
some
to it for hours.
really high-pitched sounds in those, and or they're a bit much for me. Oh, I'm not really sure why, but our, our Discord images just, like, pop down for a second and hop back up.
I
Um,
guess the other really big news from Pokemon Presents, which this had leaked before Pokemon Presents, but
mhm.
was that Fire Red, Leaf
Oh, yeah,
Green on the
how did
Switch.
we miss that? We led into it with, like, the biggest news, but yeah. Yeah, that w
Yeah.
quite some time before people thought it was gonna be $30. There was a lot of discourse online for it. Yeah, Fire Red Leaf Green on the eShop, and I'm kinda glad about that. I don't know how you feel, but I think being able to purchase a license for it rather than, attaching it to the subscription service through NSO was a good call. Being able to have that on your account indefinitely, I think, is, the way to do this if you're gonna re-release these games. And to my
No,
knowledge, this is the first time since the 3DS this kind of thing has happened.
yeah, and so for me, I've been begging for them to do this for years,
Mhm.
and I want them to do it with more than just Fire Red, Leaf Green, but I want them to
Yeah,
do it with all of the old games so that and that's I felt like that's what we all as a fan base were saying we wanted was an opportunity to legally play these games without having to emulate, and please bring us the games back, we'll pay you for them, and then for some reason, everyone seems to be really angry about the fact that they have to pay $20
for
to
a game
play
that
it,
used to be $30
and
when it
they
came
want it
out
on
in
the
2004,
yeah,
right?
2004, and
Yeah,
people want it on the Nintendo Switch Online, and I'm like, "No, I want to have it. I just want to have the game so that I can play it again and not have to do emulation or whatever." So I don't really understand why the about face we were all begging for this for years and now everyone's mad about it, but I didn't ever expect Pokemon or Nintendo to give me this game for free.
right.
I
There's a weird level
why
of
would they do
entitlement
that?
with businesses that own old things. Like, it's not you could look at it like an old movie, right? Like, you're watching, like, the first Godzilla movie or, like, Kong or something like that, right? Something that came out in the 30s to 60s, somewhere in there, and it's like, well, maybe this will eventually become, what was it? The
Public
domain
domain.
public domain. But these are not that old, like, these are relatively new considering media can be very old and still not be in public domain. Like, having a way to obtain these keeps people from trying to scalp them as much, I think. Because the biggest problem lately has been Gen 3. People are just constantly making bootlegs of these games. It's really hard to get new ones. They're all $150, $100 to get a cartridge that may or may not be in good condition. Um,
Yes.
and, I hope they do this with the other Gen 3 games as well, because, and I also hope this brings down the secondhand market on this because it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, I'm totally happy about it. I bought both versions and I just don't really get why people thought that they were just gonna hand it to us. Like
Right,
they I never expected that. I wanted them to give me an opportunity to buy the game, and they not only did that, they are not making me pay the full price of the original game again. So I am very happy with it, and like you, I mean, I have since been able to play just about every Pokemon game that I missed in the time I wasn't playing Pokemon, but I don't have those old games I had when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And so I don't want to pay 100, 200, $300 to go back and play those games. And like you said, the condition of those cartridges, the Game Boy, I mean, whatever situation, they might not be in good condition.
yeah,
And so this is an opportunity to play it on the best system I'm going to ever have a chance to have played these on. And so I'm very happy about it. And I think people just have to be mad and complain about
yeah.
everything. And so
Well,
this is
the same
they
people who are complaining about this were never going to play it in the first place. They're going to
yeah.
show you a picture of the title screen, and they weren't going to play this game. So,
Well, and I think a lot of people claimed that they wanted to play the game legally and didn't want to emulate if they didn't have to, but
mm,
they actually did want to just keep emulating.
yeah.
And
Or they want
to
to
me,
make a choice for you. And it's like,
yeah,
it's really weird.
I'm just glad they brought it back and I have a way to play the games again.
I
And
agree.
so I'm very happy with it. And like I said, I hope they do this for all of the
Yeah.
games. And
Yeah, we
I will
already had
probably buy
Gen
just
1
about
through
every one of them.
2 on the 3DS. A lot of people were also
Which I didn't get to
complaining.
do that
Oh, you
because
didn't?
I didn't have a 3DS back then.
Tragic.
So, I would really like them to do Gen 1 and 2 again as
Yeah,
well, but that's
I don't
probably
feel like there's a reason they shouldn't. I do know they did have a quote, and I'm going to quote them on this. In celebration of 30 years of Pokemon, we thought it would be fun to return to the ultimate versions of the original Pokemon adventures in the Kanto region with these special releases. And that is referring to Fire Red and Leaf Green. So, something people have noted is that they have mentioned Fire Red and Leaf Green are the ultimate versions, and I can kind of see that. I know there was some debate whether Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu would be in that discussion, but I really just don't think so. They're kind of their own thing. It's kind of like baby's first Pokemon game. This is truly a remake of Gen 1, and I do think this is probably the best way that you can play the game if you're not going to play the original. So,
yeah, and I think generally speaking, Fire Red and Leaf Green have been thought of by the fan base as one of the best games, if not the best games,
right.
and taking everything really good about and not I have to say there are certain things I like better about the original Gen 1 games, but by and large, Fire Red and Leaf Green are just a way better version of
They're very well
Blue
done.
and Red.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I've played them probably more times than I've played any of the Pokemon games, and I'm still going to play them again.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like when you build a game again from the ground up and you put that much effort into it, it's kind of like the original Star Fox for the Super Nintendo. Good game. But then you bring it to the N64, have a different graphic style because it's in a different generation, and really flesh out what could have been a perfect game, then you really have something special there, and that's what they did with Fire Red and Leaf Green, in my opinion. You have a remake that really complements it instead of just putting something out there just to put something out there, you know?
yeah,
And they
no, I
tend to
totally
wait
agree.
to do that. Same thing with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like they want a very complete experience, a very um I don't know, something that you won't a couple years later be like, "Man, I really wish I could have more from this." Um
Well,
oh, go
part
ahead.
of what I love so much about Fire Red Leaf Green, and in some ways are my favorite way that they've done this in any of the games is so the back sprites when you're battling
Mhm.
are some of my favorite in the entire franchise. And you took that from red and blue, the sprites were just kind of wild.
Yeah.
And then when
Charizard having a single horn.
the back sprites were just uber pixelated and weird looking and everything. And then in Pokemon Yellow, you had really good sprites, but you had the same back sprites. Well, in Fire Red and Leaf Green, I mean, like, look at Squirtle's back sprite versus what he looked like in Pokemon Blue. You know, it's just a totally different experience. It makes you feel more like you're in the show or something like that. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously
They feel
you
more alive.
the bag, the limited bag space in Gen 1 was really annoying.
Abysmal.
The not being able to run was terrible. So, those types of things being added in Fire Red and Leaf Green make them better in a lot of ways than the original
And the infinite money
games.
glitch at Nugget Bridge.
Yeah, I just watched a video about that the other day. I honestly didn't even know about that, and
Yeah. Classic.
I don't know
Classic.
that you would need that much money in
No.
the game, unless you just wanted a Dratini at the game corner really bad, but
Why not? Why not?
that's one thing I have never been. Now, obviously, when you're battling Lance as a kid, they've got Hyper Beam,
Yeah.
it's hard, but anytime I have used Dragonite in any game, I have not been impressed, and
He's
everybody
he's okay.
loves it and talks about it like it's the best Pokemon in the world, but I just I've never had really great success or been very impressed with it, and you have to grind for so long,
Yeah.
unless you're playing, like, Scarlet and Violet and you catch a Dragonite in the wild, but,
He's definitely
like
in that pseudo legendary kind of category, I would consider him. But like, yeah, I'm with you. Like he's kind of in that category with like Salamence, Metagross, Magmortar, and Electivire. We have, you know what I mean? Like just things that are like really, really beefy, really, really powerful attack, and aren't quite to the point of being like a sub legendary. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's a mixed bag. Like in Fire Red and Leaf Green, he's good. In Heart Gold Soul Silver, he's pretty good, but then some of the recent games he's kind of trash. Like I had to drop him from my team in Legends EA because he wasn't good.
yeah, and I think a lot of the thing with Dragonite is its status in the anime as pseudo-legendary
Yeah.
carrying over to the games being but another that brings up something I've been wanting to talk about, and I won't go on, like, a long rant about this on this show,
No,
but,
no, go
like,
on.
I would really and I know that they've done this before, but I would like to see them go back and redo the stats for, well, all the Pokemon, but especially the early generations of Pokemon.
No.
Because and I understand that a lot of the way things are done is for it to be balanced or whatever, but like I see this on online social media and stuff all the time. You'll have a Pokemon, and I don't have an example right now. I just thought of this, but that is like Greninja. Okay, so he should be about as fast as a Pokemon can get, and he is very fast. But and then you'll have a Pokemon that it makes absolutely no sense for it to be faster than Greninja, but it is.
Rattata with
And
extreme speed.
so I feel like, especially Gen 1, I see people talk about all the time how Gen 1, Gen 2 Pokemon might not be even viable, especially in competitive anymore, and I'm like, "Well, why don't you just go back and fix that?" I mean, go back and change the stat which everyone would get mad about, but go back and change the stats and make it make sense and make those Pokemon viable
I think
again.
there are a lot of Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2 that are viable. Like, just in
No,
my
I
opinion,
agree,
at
but
least, like, Ampharos is easily on almost every one of my teams.
I just think that that's
Evolutions.
the narrative in the online sphere
Yeah,
is
but I
that
also feel like that could be said for a lot of the interstitial Pokemon in every generation. Like they do have a tendency to try to beef up the ones that are in the new generation just to make them like stronger, more powerful. But I feel like as it plateaus, they kind of fall into the same group as the ones before them.
well, I think it would be perfectly okay, and in some cases it is this way, but most it isn't.
Hmm.
Okay, if you've got here's one of my biggest examples of this. If you've got a Pokemon like Onix,
Right.
Onix should be awesome. Onix should be one of the strongest Pokemon in the entire franchise.
Mm,
It's terrible. And then you'll have some Pokemon that is like a tiny fuzzball or something,
yeah.
and it'll have great stats. And I get that they don't want it to just be the biggest, scariest Pokemon or whatever, but sometimes I'm just kinda like, it doesn't have to be where everything can compete competitively like
I
that.
guess.
Like, it could just be based off what makes sense.
He would need
But
multiple typings, though. Like, he is rock type, and that is kinda
well,
trash.
Gen 1 really messed up in that all the rock types are rock and ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not weak, you can't be hurt by electric, but then you're 4 times weak to water, 4 times weak to
Yep.
grass, 2 times weak to ice, but still that makes you weak. Rock types are strong against ice. However, if you're a ground type, you're weak to ice. So then as a rock and ground type, you may be strong offensively, but you're weak defensively against ice.
I've never
So
understood the weak to grass part, like, it just doesn't really
yeah,
make much sense.
no, I don't think it does either. So they really kinda hamstrung rock type Pokemon in Gen 1 by making them all rock and ground.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just feel like, I get frustrated when I am like anytime I would have used Onyx and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you're useless in the game, so it doesn't matter that you're a
Allow me to
28-foot
introduce
tall
you to
rock snake.
Steelix.
Yeah, Steelix is very good.
Mm.
I
Oh, yeah.
use Steelix, the Steelix that you get in the in-game trade in X and Y.
Yep.
I used
That's what I'm
that on my
talking about.
last playthrough of Y, and I had it at, like, 80 something in the
Jeez.
Elite Four, and it was just because it's levels up so fast with the boost,
Mhm.
and it's just tearing through people. So good. But
Yeah, I agree.
so anyway, that's my little rant that I
Yeah.
was gonna do, but
All power to you.
yeah.
Oh, we also haven't mentioned yet, Pikachu has a new design.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? A little slimmer, a little fluffier around the face, very cute. Very almost becoming more like, cat or dog-like, I've noticed. Like
Yeah, and it kinda goes against and there'd been a real big push to make him fat again.
yeah.
Fat Pikachu, and this kinda goes the opposite way of I mean, but he's got the cute face,
And
but I
I
mean
don't mind it too much, but yeah, I do like the fat Pikachu, or if there was, like, a variety, that'd be cool.
yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see
Yeah, I
Pikachu
like
be
them
able to
both.
look different ways.
Yeah, also, people
I
have
mean
been mentioning those 2 Pikachu in the trailer for Wind and Waves might I don't think this is true, but it could be that they're the 2 face legendaries in disguise.
well, when you said something to me about that before we got on here, and I think that did not even occur to me, and I had not heard that, but I think that's awesome,
Yeah. I
and
think that'd
I
be
think
really
it's a really
fun.
good theory.
Kind of a throwback to Latios and Latias being able to transform.
Especially, I mean, like generally speaking, the games for years now, the legendaries have been, like you said, the box art.
Mhm.
And so it would make sense. I mean, they could just be regional variants or they could just look different or whatever, but
Right.
I think it would be cool if it's what you said.
We saw the motorcycle dogs, like, in the first trailer for those games. Did
I
we
think you mean
see
lizard.
Oh, yeah, motorcycle lizards. We saw them in the first the first
Yeah.
trailer for those, but I don't remember when we saw previous ones. I'm thinking those were later on. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, we'll see what happens. But yeah, a good solid Pokemon Direct. Unfortunately, sorry US, we don't get the Staryu guitar that Japan's getting for
Oh,
Pokemon
dude.
Center.
Yeah.
Can't be shredding on
Man,
Staryu. Sorry.
that'd be enough to make me start playing guitar.
Man, there was a Pikachu themed guitar one time on Pokemon Center, and it was expensive. And then I looked at the model of guitar it was, and they wanted like 3 to 5 times as much as the normal model
Oh,
of the
yeah.
guitar was just
Well,
because I was a
dude,
fan
it's
of
got the
Pikachu.
yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, I I liked everything. We also took a peek at the Tamagotchi Life Direct, and it was crazy. I pre-ordered that game. Oh, also Pokopia? Is that what it is?
I think so. I think that's how you
Yeah.
pronounce it.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers, so I haven't looked at any trailers for it. I'm a big fan of, Animal Crossing and such. Cozy
I have
games.
not ever played Animal Crossing. I have seen some of the trailers for
I can't
Copia,
tell if you
however you
love it
pronounce it.
or hate it.
Yeah, I know. I'm leaning towards I would hate it,
Yeah,
but I don't know. So I might play it. I might not.
yeah.
I don't know. But I'm very happy for like people like you who love
You have to
Animal
have a
Crossing.
generous soul to play this game.
Yeah, and I tend to be a little impatient with games and stuff. So I don't know if I would probably like get bored with it and want to do something else.
That's
But
fair. It's not for everyone. Tomodachi Life is, on the other hand, the more extreme version of this, where it's just like you don't know what's gonna happen. Everything's crazy.
yeah,
Everyone's doing
that looked
whatever.
that looked pretty chaotic.
Dude, you can make Miis of all your friends, all the Power Rangers too.
Oh, dude, I can make Power
Dude, you
Rangers,
can make whoever you want,
dude.
and they'll just interact on the island. However, they'll have random events. You'll
You
feed them. They might want to
you gonna
become
put
roommates.
you gonna put me on your island?
Yeah,
Make a character
I'm
of
gonna
me,
put everyone on my island, like in the whole world.
dude.
There's gonna be
Big
almost
island.
8 billion people on my island.
Okay. By the way,
Yeah.
quick aside, because you said that. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't cite it as evidence or anything, but I was reading some article or whatever that said that a lot of these countries are way over reporting what their population is
Oh,
because
nice. Yeah, I
gets
totally
them
believe that.
that gets them more funding from like the UN and things like that. And so,
We went from what 7 billion in like the mid
yeah,
two
just like all
thousands
of a
to like
sudden we have 8 billion.
8 billion. I'm like,
Which I mean, obviously you can say there's an exponential increase, but when you've got all these countries who supposedly have a very low birth rate right now, it doesn't really make sense for the population to be just astronomically
mm,
skyrocketing. So I don't know if that's true or not, but they were saying there's probably nowhere near 8 billion people on Earth and we're way overestimating. But
how
I don't know
many
how you would
people are gonna
know.
buy a copy of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green?
Yeah, that's 16 billion copies of Fire Red Leaf Green they could be selling.
Did you ever see those statistics from Sony about the PS2? Like how much it
No.
sold? Like every time the Switch is like, oh hey, we found or we I'm trying to say every time the Nintendo's like, yeah, we sold the most units for the Switch. Sony's like, "Hey, yeah, we found 10 million copies of the PS2 somewhere in a warehouse.
The
What?
PS2 to me is just absolutely wild. I know that was one of
You,
your favorite systems ever. I never had one.
wow.
And so it was like if I went over to people's houses who had one, it
Yeah.
was just like so cool. You could play Battlefront and all that
Oh
kind of stuff
man.
on there.
Dude, I played a
But
copy of Battlefront until it broke and then bought another one.
I saw which everyone's gaming rankings and stuff are subjective, but I saw a gaming ranking today of the best games to have come out on PlayStation 2, and Battlefront 1 was not even on it.
What?
Battlefront 2 was like in the second row. It was
Watch
probably
those
like
wrist
8
rockets.
or something. I was like,
Where'd
"Come
they
on,
have
you're
Star
not
Wars
telling
Bounty
me."
Hunter at?
I wasn't even on
Dude,
there.
they didn't even know ball.
I know,
What
dude. It
is
was
this? I bet
it
they
was
I
pretty
bet they were
basic.
like voting for like Madden and stuff.
Well, yes,
Dude,
Madden
fake
2003
fan.
was on there,
Fake fan.
and 2K 5, the 2005 football game was on there. And I love Madden. I'm a huge Madden guy, but
Top
like
10?
the idea that
Top
Madden 2003 was like the second or third best game to ever come out on PlayStation 2, I don't buy that for a second.
no.
No way. But
Were the Guitar Heroes up there at least?
Guitar Hero was not on there. I don't
Dude,
even remember who
what?
did this countdown.
Yeah, who did that? What kind of chump
It
made
was
that
some kind of
list?
gaming organization, which is reminds me. I don't know if anybody
Organization.
saw this. We were talking Pokemon, and I told Will this off the show, but Polygon did a top 100 Pokemon, which everyone's free to have their own opinion on Pokemon. We all
Yeah.
very disagree, but I was like, I disagree with so many of these. Like, it wasn't even close to what I would call the
I
top
actually
100
agreed with
Pokemon.
like every one of them in order.
the top Pokemon, and honestly, I didn't really read the criteria very closely. It didn't seem to be a power ranking. It seemed to be like what they were their favorites. Number 1 was Mewtwo, and I don't really know how I feel about that, but that was
It's
not
valid.
yeah, that's not one that I, like, had a problem with, but there were a bunch that I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." So, everybody feels very differently about the way
Number
they like
2,
Pokemon.
Pachirisu.
Yeah.
Number 3, Chikorita.
Man.
Like, yeah, we made the worst tier list of all time.
Yeah, what was I need to pull it up. Let me pull it up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll
yeah. Let's review this. Let's
where are you
review the
going?
PS2 thing while
Uh,
you're at it. I want to hear these actually. Was
yeah,
it
where
just
did
for
I
the
find
PS2
that?
or was it for other consoles as
It was
well?
just PlayStation 2.
Dude,
I saw it on social media, so I might
maybe
have
they
a hard
just
time.
found a list of games and just like asked an AI
Okay,
chatbot to generate a list for them.
here is how Polygon decided. Polygon writers and editors submitted ballots ranking their top 20 favorite Pokemon. From there, a small group of in house Pokemon experts, so Professor Oak was in this, discussed the tiebreakers, considering factors like cuteness, coolness, and overall cultural impact in
Wait,
determining placements.
there's like 4 people that work at Polygon, right? So like how did they do tiebreakers for every one of them having one vote?
So I'm gonna try to find one that I thought
Like
was egregious. Trubbish at 98. I would not have Trubbish anywhere near the
can
top
you go like
100.
1 through or maybe top 15 starting at 15?
Top 15. Okay, let
Yeah,
me get
yeah.
scroll down to the bottom here. It's taking a long
How
time
many
to
ads are in
okay.
between?
Yeah, it keeps moving. Let's see.
Maybe
What were their
impossible
top
tab.
15? Oh yeah, you're gonna rage if you heard some of these, but I'm passing a lot of them. Okay, so the top 15 might not be as bad as you would expect,
Okay.
but okay, so number 1 is Mewtwo.
Oh,
Number 2,
go in descending order.
descending
Yeah,
order.
we
Okay,
gotta
let
we
me
gotta
pull it
hype
back
it
up.
up.
Gotta hype it up. I had already blown that anyway,
That's
so
okay. It was obvious that it was Mewtwo, right?
let's see. Some of these are obvious, and remember, this is favorites. So
Mm-hmm.
number 15, they had Slowpoke,
Okay.
which is a fan favorite.
Yeah.
14, they had Gengar, also fan favorite. I don't have a lot of criticisms of these, but
No, those are okay.
Jolteon was 13. I love Jolteon.
Yeah.
Squirtle was number 12. Okay, Squirtle is my favorite Pokemon, has been since I was 4 or 5 years old. So,
So
this
you're
was a
saying a
little bit of
4 or 5-year-old made this list?
this was a little bit of an odd one to me. Porygon, the original Porygon is
Dude,
number 11.
Porygon is like in my top 5.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't
yeah, I
know
love
that.
Porygon.
Charizard was 10.
Okay.
Tyranitar was 9. Here was a pretty wild one to me. Number 8 is Alolan Raichu.
That's a cute one.
Not
I could see that.
not Raichu. Here was another one. Number 7 is Chandelure.
No.
I do not like
No.
Chandelure at all.
See, Alolan
Chandelure
Raichu was like super big. I do like the design being all like smooth and stuff, being on the surfboard. Very cool, very fitting the theme. Um,
uh, I noticed when I was going through the whole 100, and you're gonna notice this here in a second. A lot of these, I feel like I don't know how old the people were or what their favorite generations were, but there was a lot of later generation, particularly like
mhm.
Alola, involved in this. Number 6 was Mimikyu.
Okay.
I don't know what your opinion on
I
Mimikyu
like
is.
Mimikyu. That's a fan favorite.
Yeah. Number 5, this one kinda came out of left field to me. The top 5 Pokemon, number 5 was Heracross.
No.
I would not
What?
have had Heracross anywhere in the top 100. This one caught me off guard a little bit, and it's not because I don't like this Pokemon, it just kinda caught me off guard. Number 4 was Sprigatito, which is very cute, I like
Yeah,
it, but
it's
I would
pretty
not
cute.
have had it in the top 5. Uh, Number 3 is Snorlax,
No. Get out of
and number
here.
2 is Psyduck,
Dude,
and
what?
then 1 is Mewtwo.
Dude, Snorlax is
But,
only
I mean,
there
it's what
because
their
they couldn't
favorites.
find the Poke Flute.
So let me go back and I'll point out some of the ones that I thought were some of the worst.
Okay.
Which I mean, totally subjective. Okay, so 98 was Trubbish. That I mentioned that one. Number 94 was Vanillish.
Mm,
I would not have Vanillish anywhere in the top 500.
yeah.
Uh, let's see. They also grouped a lot. Like Latios is 93 and Latios is 92, and they did a lot of that.
So what
Uh,
I'm guessing is these were probably all single votes, and they just put them in.
well, that's entirely possible.
Yeah, because it.
Which they did the top 20, each person's top 20.
Mm,
Drifloon was 90. I don't like Drifloon. I know
no,
the fan base likes it,
creep,
but
creepy.
uh
Yuck.
Mousehold or however you pronounce it, the mice from Gen 9
Oh
was
yeah.
at 88.
They
I
don't really look like a Pokemon.
No, I totally
They're
agree.
just
They don't look
mice.
anything like Ursulana was 86. I thought that was a little bit
Ursa
strange.
Ursaluna?
Appleton was 85.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to find some more that I thought were a little. I was a little surprised to see Amistar at 81. Not, I don't have a
Huh.
problem with Amistar. I just didn't expect it. Uh, let's see. Pelipper was 74th. I don't like
Again.
Pelipper. I know people like it, but
Yeah, I think he's
uh,
kind of weird.
they had Pikachu all the way down at 67. I thought that was a
Wow.
little surprising. Houndour is 65. I can't remember if Houndoom was on the top 100 or not, but I would be surprised for Houndour to be above Houndoom, but
Hmm.
uh, let's see. They put a lot of the evolutions together. Like they have Glaceon at 59, Flareon at 58, Leafeon at 57, Vaporeon at 56, Sylveon at 55. Which I don't know why. Why are you grouping them all together like that? Uh, okay, this was one that every.
Yeah, so they have the Gundam Channel International. You can just watch them from there. That's posted by them. So Bandai puts those out. But
That's
yeah,
gonna be dope, dude.
dude, I cannot. It was the 41st anniversary of Zeta Gundam the other day, I think. Dude, you were going to love Zeta. Zeta is so hype. It's
I do like hype.
dude, it's like the most 80s thing. Like everyone has like
Oh, dude, I
bullets and
love
leather
the 80s.
jackets and aviators
Oh,
and things
dude,
are cool because they're cool and the robots start transforming and stuff and turning into jets.
synth music
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah, exactly. Dude,
I
it's
haven't been
so cool.
listening to synth music and I love it. Like that's
Oh,
like all I've been
I
listening to
might
lately.
have a genre that you might think is kind of cool. It's not
Oh
quite
yeah.
synth, but it has some synth in it. It's called future funk, and
Ooh.
it takes it
Yeah, I want to
takes
hear that. I like funk.
really upbeat funk like bass tones, and it also adds like city pop, like Japanese city pop, and then it adds some like synth beats and stuff sometimes. Really good.
Yeah, like I don't ever listen to Japanese music, but anytime I hear it like with you,
Yeah,
I
dude,
hear
I
it like on
love city
Fortnite or
pop.
something. I'm like, dude, this is dope. What was that song? You remember we were in your car that time listening to that Japanese song and I was like rocking out hard. I was like,
Dude,
what
that's
is this?
probably
This is awesome.
I think that was the Pillows.
I mean, I have no idea what it said, but I don't care. It
That's
was awesome.
okay. I also
So,
listened to Mass of the Fermenting Dregs. They're pretty cool.
wow, that's an intense name.
It is an intense name. Who's a good one? Uh, a lot of city pop. I like city pop too. There's this album called Timely that I listen to a lot. Um, by Henri. That's like if you're looking for like 80s like music, the pinnacle of 80s music is Timely by Henri. Anri.
Mm,
Dude, you gotta
yeah, I
check it
love
out,
80s music.
man. All right, now we're talking
We
about
all
the
need to.
cool things like at the end of the podcast instead of the beginning. We gotta
Yeah,
move this over to the beginning so that people don't lose
we need some
interest.
of those futuristic or 80s looking sunglasses and some leather
Man,
jacket.
with a single lens going across.
Just, yeah, I like where
Where's the
I like
starter
buff.
Pokemon that has that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Squirtle had the Squirtle Squad
yeah,
glasses.
but it's not
That's
the
as
same.
close as we've gotten.
It's not the same.
They need to be pink.
Yeah, and he has to shoot lasers out of them. Oh,
Exactly, dude. And it's a futuristic Blastoise that shoots lasers out of his cannons.
dude, why didn't they do that for
I know, man.
that one game for Scarlet Violet?
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
losing my mind today. I went from not sleeping more than like 4 hours a day during the weekend, and then I slept 12 hours last night. And today I have not been able to form a complete sentence.
That's wild, man. You would think the
Yeah,
more sleep
you
would
would
be
think
better.
so. Um, guess not.
Yeah, I had 2 days where I don't know what was going on. I just didn't sleep good or something, and I felt like trash, and then I slept for, like, 12 hours and woke up
Man,
and was like, "Yeah, I feel way better now." But
people look you dead in the eye and be like, "Yeah,
I
sleep debt isn't a real thing." I'm like, dude, what?
am like, "No, it most certainly is."
Man, didn't
I
stop the
also
brain
am
fog.
finding as I get older, like, I thought you're supposed to need less sleep. Well, I need more sleep.
Yeah,
Like, I
I don't know if I've heard anyone say that you needed less sleep.
well, I thought, like, after you got out of, like, your teenage years where your body's
Oh, that
growing,
makes sense.
that you
I
didn't
was
need as
also
much
not
sleep.
sleeping then as well because of homework.
Yeah, which I wasn't doing my homework
Dude, I
when I
was
was in high school, so
man, I hated high school homework. In college, dude, I was staying up until like 4 in the morning to 6 in the morning like every day. Classes at 8. I don't know how I did that. It's like, yeah, this is
I had a lot different college experience than most people, I think, because I mean, there were definitely times where I was like certain classes or certain assignments I thought were hard, but generally speaking, I didn't find college to be that challenging, but I went to a lot different college than what most people go to, so I'm not really a good case study in that.
but you did case studies.
Yeah, sort of, I guess. My hardest class was when I dropped within like the first week or two. It was a ancient foreign language, and I was like,
Dude, you
"Yeah,
don't know
bro,
those. You've seen
I
the
can't
memes
do this.
before. You can read that.
I c- I could not." Okay, so it was ancient Hebrew,
Dude,
and
what?
I could not even differentiate between some of the letters.
That's
So, like, you're trying to
crazy.
learn the letters and stuff so you can learn the words, and, like, I couldn't so many of the letters looked so similar that I was just like, "I can't even learn the alphabet, much less the, words and grammar." So, I just dropped it. I was like, "I'm outta here, man." But
I think linguistics is really neat, but I think history is more interesting. I think if I didn't do what I do now, I'd probably do something with history.
oh,
Maybe.
I love history.
It's it was my favorite. That's for
I
sure.
filled, like, every humanities credit in
Man,
college I filled with history classes because I
I took some crazy things like metal smithing and like
dude,
I was doing some gnarly stuff.
you're gonna be a blacksmith, bro.
No, I was making some like small scale things like rings and necklaces and keychains, but we were still
What?
like lighting them on fire and melting
Dude, that is
silver
wild.
and stuff on pumice, the rock.
I have never taken any kinda class like that.
Yeah,
Not any shop,
me either.
not
I just made it
auto,
up. I'm
nothing.
just kidding.
You I know you did because you made that Evangelion lamp in that one
That was
class.
actually a different class. That was a core class.
Yo, that was that like a design class?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Oh, I saw something crazy. Um, there's you still haven't played Alan Wake, right?
No, I haven't.
Dude, so the Alan Wake games are made by a studio called Remedy. I think you played Quantum Break. That was by them. Max Payne was also by them. Um, I think that was the Quantum Break's the game Michael let you borrow one time, I think. But uh
Now what is Quantum Break?
I think it was like these guys that could like go through time or teleport or something. I don't know. I didn't end up playing it. It was on the Xbox One. It was like a
Mhm.
launch title, I think. Um, but yeah, Remedy does like Alan Wake, Control, and they're all kind of interconnected. The new game, the new Control game, they said is inspired greatly by Evangelion. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
the creator of this other game called Nier Automata is making an Evangelion anime. So a lot of big stuff happening for the 30th anniversary of the show.
that's pretty dope.
Turned 30 the same year as Pokemon.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
Big year for Japan coming to America, man.
Yeah. Wild. Very formative media in both fields.
That's another thing I haven't ever watched. I've never
You
watched
would
any
hate
of the
it.
Evangelion.
You would hate it.
Yeah, I
You're not gonna
figured.
want to watch it. You would like Gundam. You won't like Evangelion.
Yeah, I hadn't heard much about Evangelion that I
It's a
thought I would
weirder
like.
Gundam. It's like they're aliens
I
that they're
I
fighting
don't
and
like
not
super weird.
robots. Yeah. I could explain the premise of it one day and you'd be like, yeah, that's weird. But
I'm like, no,
Gundam's more grounded. It's more about the horrors of war
dude, just
with
my
cool
life
robots.
experience right there. The worst.
You're gonna hate Amuro. You're gonna hate the main character. You might actually like the mm, what do you call an antagonist that's not really an antagonist? Like they're just framed as
Like a rival
yeah.
or just an annoying friend.
No, they're not a friend. There's like a term for it. It's like a is it?
Bureaucrat,
No,
worker
it's
for
like
the
a
IRS collecting my taxes.
antagonist. That's what it is. Antagonist.
Wow.
They're second in importance to
That's
the
some of that Hebrew.
protagonist. Yeah, that's yeah.
I
I had
remember
to
I
read
didn't pass that
runes
class.
to tell what I was saying there. But yeah, good stuff. So I'm excited for us to review that. Let me look at our calendar right now. By our calendar, I'm just talking about the you can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
See what time it is? Yeah,
So
it's
we're looking at the 10th for our next show.
yep. So
Well, that's this show.
this
That
show
movie
will
that
air
is
on the
gonna release
10th.
this.
The next one
And
on the
then
17th will be um another episode. Yeah,
okay.
this is a very schedule heavy show. This is a show where we talk about
Schedule.
calendars.
That's the whole point of the show is
Oh man, let's talk about uh the long Halloween. Very calendar centric
dude,
show. Very
we could.
holiday centric
That
show.
would fit into
I
schedules
would
for
love
sure.
to talk about some of the more significant storylines in DC if you wouldn't.
The Long Halloween was the first comic that really hooked me into comics.
I'll tell you what.
I
I don't know where I was going with that. The first comic that hooked you into comics.
yeah, that was The Long Halloween. So when I was getting into comics, I read uh quite a few of the original Spider-Man comics, and I really liked them, but I was reading
Spider-Man.
them in a big trade format that was black and white. So I decided I wanted to get into Batman comics. So the first two things I read, I bought them at the same time, were graphic novels of uh Year One
Mhm.
by Frank Miller and The Long Halloween. I read the Frank Miller one first, Year One, and honestly, I kind of liked it, but at the time I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And so then I read The Long Halloween and I was totally hooked, and I was like, this is awesome, and started reading comics a lot after that. But
Who wrote the Long Halloween again?
it's Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale did Long Halloween, and then they followed that up. So there's Dark Victory, and then
Right.
they did a Haunted Night was the smaller series.
I don't know if you've listened to them, but there's actually a podcast by DC that has Year One, Long Halloween, uh, everything after it pretty much. It's very cool. I actually
No, I
listened
haven't
to
heard it.
everything before Dark Victory, and then after Dark Victory they do Batman Ego, and then the Gauntlet, and then they do Nightwing Year 1. So, bunch of cool stuff in there, and it's all kind of interconnected. Very neat stuff.
I've
I liked it a lot.
I've gone back and read Long Halloween some,
Mhm.
and I don't like it as much now. But I mean, it's hard to like a mystery book as much the second, third time
Yeah, it's
as you do the
exciting the
first
first time
time.
you're thinking about it.
But yeah, I mean, once you know and you've seen it, you're just kind of like, eh.
I think adaptations of that are better to view on a second time, like hearing it in a podcast form or something, or like, I don't know, like reading a different adaptation of it, I think is
Yeah, just reading the
good
same
too.
comic again is not fun to me.
No. Man, dude, the local comic shop called me yesterday. Uh, they have 14 books for me. I don't know what they are because they didn't have like any of them for me last time, so I don't know if they ordered them all again after
So this
forgetting
is the
about them.
one here where
Yes.
you're having so much problems.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so but it was my boy Colin. He's he's always got the correct ones for me when he's there. So I don't know. Maybe
dude.
he ordered them. Maybe they just like finally got all the ones they forgot to give me. I don't know.
They're like, oh yeah, sorry, we found all the comics
They
we've
were
told you we
under
didn't have for
a
3 months.
bus in a puddle. Okay.
Still in mint condition.
Dude, there's this series I'm reading that you might want to check out too. That's pretty good called I Heart Skull Crusher. And it takes place in the like apocalypse, like Mad Max, everything's desert and people are hoarding water. And this girl grew up watching these people play this sport called deathball on TV, and she's been waiting for a chance to join this deathball team with this professional player called Skull Crusher. And so she's waiting for a big break, and then like raiders come to the town and try to take the water, but instead she's like, well, if I beat you in a fight, you'll join my deathball team, because they have to go to tryouts in a different town. It's pretty fun. It kind of has the same vibe to it as Voltron Legendary Defender, is what I'm
Now,
getting at.
are the people dying in Deathball, or
I
are they
don't know
just?
yet. It's hard to tell. It looks
Oh,
it
oh,
looks
okay.
very playful. The game, like the show, like when someone gets hit
We like
really hard, they're
playful
like, "Oh man, they died," but like it's kind of like the cartoon, like their face just gets hit and stretches.
Looney Tunes type
Looney
deal.
Tunes, yeah, Looney Tunes. So it's not crazy violent at all. It's very colorful, very uh, anime inspired. You can tell, in the same way that Avatar: The Last Airbender or Voltron would be. So
Which I wish more things would be that way. I saw the teaser for the Green Lantern HBO show, which I knew was going to be this way, but within like the first few seconds, they drop a serious expletive, and I'm like,
dude,
can we please just? I mean,
this
I know
is
this wasn't.
I mean, that's kind of like I'm not endorsing that, but that is kind of how the Jeff Johns Green
Oh yeah,
Lantern
the Jeff
comics
Johns
were.
Green Lantern run is like
And
so
that is like
gruesome.
one of the most formative Green Lantern runs.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I just wish like so many things about superheroes are not made where a child could watch it.
right. Yeah.
And I just wish that I'm not saying make it for kids. I'm saying I wish people would make things that it would be okay if a kid watched it.
Yeah, or like
And
walked in the room and it was on TV.
yeah, like why does everything superheroes have to be made super adult? Like I don't
And
get that.
like you
But
could do it sometimes. Like I don't think there's a need for Watchmen to be like made for kids. Like it's
no, yeah.
not in that
No.
category. But like yeah, like I don't know, going back to that, it'd be really funny. It's like, yeah, you have a character like Dr. Manhattan that helped win the Vietnam War because he has nuclear powers. Yeah, I don't think kids need that one.
No. No, definitely not.
Have you ever thought about that? Like that, the Watchmen universe is, I think it's supposed to be like Earth 2, or like an alternate version of the normal DC universe where America won the Vietnam War, and also Rorschach was supposed to be the Question. They just couldn't get. There were a lot of DC characters that were supposed to be in Watchmen that they just could not get approval for.
We talked Justice League Unlimited the other day. I really liked the Question in
Man,
Justice League
so have
Unlimited.
you? There's a new run of the Question comics coming out.
Oh no, I hadn't seen that.
So they had like New 52, then Rebirth, and then the newest thing is All New. Um, and or All In. I'm sorry, All In. And most of the All In comics that I've read are super good. Like some of the, I think they're better than some of the Rebirth ones that were coming out. All the Absolute series, really fun, super creative views on the characters. Wonder Woman's really cool. The Flash, Wally West is neat. Batman, I think the Batman one's a little overhyped, but I like their angle on things. Um, but then you have all these like interstitial things they're coming out with, and they're also really cool, really fun things. I like the art styles a lot. I don't know, just a lot of fun. No dark, dreadful, evil, whatever.
Everything
Yeah,
horrible.
there are some crazy things. Like the Joker looks insane in Absolute Batman, but like the Absolute universe is supposed to be like weird, kind of in the way that the Batman 2004 cartoon
Yeah.
is. Like they're all in a very different art style, but they have a similar background if it's changed at all. It's not to the extent of Batman Who Laughs, where I liked the concept of some of those Batman, like the Red Death and all that, but like it was too gloom and doom dreadful.
Yeah, it was pretty disturbing and sad.
Yeah. I did like the Tales from the Dark Multiverse they did. I actually I thought I was getting a trade paperback of that at Half Price Books, but I found apparently they came out with a second grouping of them. So I bought the second set of them, and now I have more to read. So I still need to find the first one at some point, but this one includes Batman Hush, Flashpoint, Wonder Woman War of the Gods, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Dark Knight's Metal. And usually what these are, I don't know if you've seen these. They had Nightfall and stuff in the first one. Um, they used the same art style of the original comic, right? But they changed the story a bit. Um, and it either has like a different ending that's good or a different ending that's bad. Um, but yeah, I really kind of like that stuff.
Hmm.
Don't like
Yeah,
the
no, I
really
haven't
creepy stuff, but I like the way that those are. I think that's a more fitting tone. New
started
design.
Pokemon and we got on we started Pokemon and we ended up on comics.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Maybe that could be
The
the next thing
Pokemon
we talk
comic.
about. So next week we'll do a Gundam review, and the week after we'll do a maybe a comic discussion for the first time.
Yeah.
That might be good. All right.
Will's favorite comic
Yeah, my favorite comic
is
is the Bible action
dude,
the action edition.
Action by More or whatever it's called. I've actually never even read the
Yeah, me
comic
either.
Abide by I feel like it's like feels a little almost a little sacrilegious. I understand what they're
Yeah.
doing, but I'm kinda like, "No, I think I'll take my Bible exactly the way that it is written." How about that?
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, with
We're
that,
getting into theology here on the
we
Pokemon
better
podcast.
escape here before.
Better steer clear before we get in trouble.
Well, that being said, thank you
Alright,
everyone
dude.
for listening. I'm sure it was very confusing if you didn't see the video. You can see us on youtube.com. Is it slash culture cretins, or do we have like a weird tag?
Oh, let me look that up. It should be
But yeah,
really simple.
that'll be the optimal way to see this one with the tier list, but I hope we went into some good detail. If not,
Switching accounts.
usually it won't be like that, but you know, we'll try to keep it to where you can see some things on screen sometimes. So switching sides.
Trying to see my what it's got as our handle here.
Dude,
Okay,
you know what I'm
so
at.
youtube.com/@culturecretins.
Awesome. Well,
By the way, somebody disliked our state of Pokemon.
Oh, that
Somebody
was
probably
me.
didn't like.
That was me.
Oh, you did it?
No, I'm just
Okay,
kidding.
cool. Yeah, somebody probably didn't like us saying good things about
Dude, that was
Sword
probably
and Shield,
Ryan.
and yeah. I saw, by the way, I keep seeing things online pop up with fan ratings of games,
Yeah.
and they'll have, like, Sword and Shield as, like, a 4 out of 10.
Dude,
I'm like,
what?
"Bro, what game were y'all playing?" Because Sword and Shield
People
is a 10
hated
out of
that
10.
game.
10 out of
Weird.
10 for me.
Yeah, I'll have to agree on that. Well, for for the sixth time, thanks for watching. I'll try not to get sidetracked again.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad about that. Alright, see you guys later.
See you guys next week.
Bye bye.